ahead.
Are we live? All right, here we are. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another virtual gathering of Kansas City Oasis on Zoom. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good week. Welcome back to our now online community here at Oasis. Again, I hope you guys are doing well. I see a couple face masks walking around out there in the community. I hope you guys are safe at home and making it through okay. We've got another great program here this morning for you guys while you guys are safe at home and going about your business. I'm sure everybody is doing what needs to be done to keep our communities and our country safe. We appreciate all your guys' hard work. So for today, we have some familiar faces, I'll say. So for our featured speaker this morning, we have one of our own. Aaron Guerra is going to be talking about board games and role-playing games while staying connected and social distancing. I'm very excited to hear about that because I have really enjoyed meeting some friends online and playing games via Zoom and other online platforms. So I want to hear more about how to do that. That's been a lot of fun. Our community moment is going to come from Nathan Bailey, one of our own, again. Has been a member for a long time, so I'm interested to hear what he's got to talk about, tell us more about his journey. And our musical guest this morning, we are so lucky to have her. Coleen Dieker is going to be here to show off all the skills that she's got from her little home studio with all the instruments that she has to show us. So we are streaming live via Facebook and via Zoom. So if you have some friends that aren't familiar with Oasis and you'd like to introduce them, you can send them this link, or you can send them a link to the Oasis Facebook page, and we're going to be on there. You can send them previous Facebook streams of this program, and you can send them a link to this Zoom meeting, and they can join us every Sunday and see what we're all about from the comfort of their home, where they're with their animals and their coffee, and if you're Tyler, with their Bud Lights. So let's go ahead and get started. Colleen's going to kick it off, looks like, with that violin. So please, everybody, welcome the multi-talented Coleen Dieker. Woo!
So that was Partita number 2, the Allemande by Bach. And I had to improvise a little bit because I forgot the notes, and I played it perfectly 2 times already this morning. So 3rd time's a charm, right? So I overcompensated with the little music for a found harmonium. And this, as you saw, this beautiful 1788 Benjamin Banks fiddle made in London that I don't own. I can't afford it. But I get to hang on to it during quarantine. Transformed from a violin to a fiddle. Miracles happen every day.
Wow. Would you like to play something else for us? Do you have a second song for us?
Yeah, I'll play another song.
Please.
And it's been so long. Hello, Oasis. It's been forever. I shaved my head. I look different. And I feel different. And I'm sure you all do as well. I don't remember what I played for you last time. I did a lot of stuff with JJ. I don't remember if I have done anything solo. But I love this song, Star of the County Down. And it has a beautiful cadenza in it. And it's an Irish tune. And it's actually, if I don't know if any of you guys know Shane Borth, he's an amazing violinist and he works with Quixotic. He wrote this cadenza and I just love playing it. That guy knows what he's doing. So here it is, Star of the County Down.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So, this is our clapping over Zoom. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, absolutely amazing. I know we've got some other instruments coming up from you later today. So, thank you so much, Coleen. Yeah, and there's going to be some singing and some other finger usages. Nothing with that right foot though, with that broken ankle. So, yeah, if you guys, all of you, everybody watching here, if you're interested in sending some cash to Coleen, you can find her Venmo page at venmo.com/Coleen-Dieker. We've got that in the chat. If you want to go over to the right and scroll through there, you can find it. And there it is again. JJ, thank you very much. All of our artists and musicians in town, of course, are struggling because they're not playing any shows right now. So please send some money Colleen's way if you have the resources at the moment. So from here, of course, we love you. Thank you. From here, I'm going to send out a couple announcements. What do we have going on right now? We are still, let's see, we've got the Oasis Values button design going on. I I think that's officially supposed to be over, but we only got a few submissions, and we were surprised. The board was surprised. We only got a handful, and we really want to see what you guys have in your creative closets. So I think we're going to keep that going. We'd like to see what you all have to offer. We know there's more creative skills out there, so we want to put them to the test and see what you guys can offer. So please get on the private page and check out the Oasis Values button design contest. Everything you need to do that, all the program that you need is on there. Links to everything, how to submit, how to design, everything is on there. It's really simple, and you can really have a hand in some of our future marketing and design ideas. So check that out. See what you've got. You might be surprised. Our after dinner Zoom chats on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock are still going strong. So once a week, if you're feeling like seeing some of these faces more often than Sunday mornings, you can sign in to this Zoom page at 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights and see some familiar faces, and maybe have a couple of drinks and get a little talkie with some friends. Monday or morning coffee Zoom chats at 7:30 a.m. You can have some coffee or some more drinks. I don't know what your life's up to right now. Mine's a little weird. So 7:30 a.m. every morning, people will be drinking coffee right here, this location. So feel free to sign in every morning for coffee. Are we still doing the snail mail program? No, that's done. Okay. So everybody seemed to love the snail mail. If we get some more requests for another round of snail mail, maybe we will re-up that program. Everybody seemed to really enjoy getting something through the U.S. Postal Service. I know when I see my postman, I always give a real, I try to high five, a high five from distance, because they are really, they are on the front lines themselves. So I know we're really, everybody in the community has really enjoyed the snail mail program and sending stuff through the mail, getting something. It's almost like a present, it seems like, when you see something come to your front door. So if we're interested in doing that again, maybe we can re-up that program. Something new that just came out this week, the Kansas City Oasis Community Pantry, something that the board has started to implement for the people in our community who might be in need of some valuable resources. So in response to the challenges some in our community are facing because of COVID-19, of course, we've created a means whereby we can help anyone in need through the Oasis Community Pantry. So all the names and needs are going to be collected and kept confidential, with the exception of the care response team and the board of directors. And then we'll facilitate deliveries and logistics of food and resources. So you can message a board member on Facebook, or you can fill out the form that you can see on the private page. And if we're able to help out, if your community is able to help out, we will fulfill those needs for those who need it. So please, if you know that you're in need, please don't feel like you're a burden on your community. That's what we're here for, to look out for one another. So please check out the Kansas City Oasis Community Pantry. If you have something to give that you think might be of help to somebody in our community, check that out. If you are in need, don't feel bad for getting on there. I have asked for help from this community, and I was overwhelmed with the response. So this is a giving and loving community. Don't feel bad for receiving the love that this community has to give. So with those announcements, we're going to move on to our community moment with Nate Bailey, who we have heard from before, a member of this community that we love very much, who last time he spoke was talking about Bitcoin, which I still don't think I understand, not because of his presentation, but because it doesn't make any sense. And it's the computer's taking over the world. So we'll see what he's going to talk about today. We do 3 words to describe our community moment speakers and ask them to give a warning label for themselves. The 3 words that Nate provided for himself this morning were intense, determined, and desperately in need of a haircut. I think he's not alone there. And his warning label for this morning is don't mess with my internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Bailey.
Is it bad to clap for yourself? No. It's the only one I can hear.
Hey.
Well, yeah, no, I think we all probably need some haircuts, and I do want to just say, like, piggybacking on what you said, guys, like, yeah, I've been with Oasis for a while, and like Oasis is a great place, whether you need some social like encouragement or you need any other kind of help. Like, this is the place to go, and people want to do that. So if you do need help, just go there and find out, how people can help you, because people want to do that. That's amazing. So today I just want to talk a little bit about some mental health, specific mental health technique. And for that to happen, I want everybody to imagine or remember feeling compassion. So whether that is a time when you saw somebody in need, you read an article, you went to a funeral, you just saw somebody in a difficult situation, and you may or may not have said or done anything, but you wanted to help somebody out. And just feel that. I want you to feel for a moment what that's like, that feeling of compassion, where you're kind of feeling maybe just a little bit of what someone else is feeling, and how deep and beautiful that feeling is, that we all have when somebody we see is in need, when we see somebody in pain. That's how we feel, and we want to do something to help them. So just focus on that emotion for just a moment. And while we're thinking about that, I want to go the opposite side and tell you that there is somebody that I have very little compassion for. This person, when he's down, I kind of tend to give advice like, you could have done better, or, you should really eat less junk food. And I don't usually tend to say the kinds of things you would say when somebody is kind of hurting or in need. Things like, it's going to be okay, or, these things happen, or you'll do better next time. I don't say those things to this person. I tend to give advice, you could do better, eat less junk food. And imagine saying that to somebody, like that kind of thing. Imagine saying that to somebody who maybe was a smoker and was diagnosed with cancer, okay? Lung cancer. What if you gave them advice like, oh, you should have smoked less? It's like that's a horrible thing to say to somebody, right? It's like, you should have just smoked less. It's like, that's focusing on the past. It's focusing on not on what people need right now. People need understanding. They need people to say things that build them up. And this person, I say that kind of advice to, it's really toxic. It's not healthy. And when I look in the mirror in the morning, I think that's okay to say to this person, because that person's me. Just to be very clear, I don't say that kind of thing to other people. I say that kind of thing to myself. When something goes wrong, I'm like, okay, you need to fix this, this, and this. You need to do that. I dwell on the kinds of things that I've done and what I could have done better, and how I could have avoided the difficult situation or made the situation better. And so, again, to be very clear, this is something that I tend to do for myself. I give advice. I don't give compassion, which is why the topic today is self-compassion, and why it's so critical for people. And so I want to clarify, what is self-compassion? Self-compassion, again, is compassion like you would show to anybody else, saying, just saying at a funeral, like, hey, I'm here for you. It's going to be okay. Or if somebody's in need, saying, I can help you. You'll do better next time. Saying those kinds of things, but saying them to yourself, giving yourself that understanding. And it's not the same kind of thing as, I'm going to contrast it with self-esteem. Self-esteem is where you're saying, I'm valuing myself. I'm really good at math, or I'm really good at my job, or I'm really good at finances, or staying on top of things. That's an evaluation of your merits and your value that you give yourself as compared to other people who aren't as good at math, or maybe your own standards where you just want to be the best at something, or you want to be really good at some kind of thing that you're just comparing yourself to yourself. That's a comparison. Self-compassion isn't about your ability or your situation. It's about giving those kind words. It's going to be okay. These things happen. You'll do better next time. Saying those things and having that attitude towards yourself. And for a lot of people, and obviously me. It's difficult. You can give to others. Maybe you've seen other people who give to other people. They sacrifice for other people, but they don't take care of themselves. And you see that kind of thing happening with a lot of people. Some of the best, caring, most compassionate people are willing to give of themselves. They're willing to be compassionate to others, but they won't do it for themselves. And they don't realize that it's important that you take care of yourself, whether that's time, whether that's relaxation time, or whether in this case, you're compassionate for yourself when things don't go the way you want, when you have setbacks, or even when even when things are going well, you can still practice self-compassion. And the importance of self-compassion is it doesn't rely on how you're doing. Like self-worth can. When you land a job, you feel, oh my goodness, I can do anything. But when you lose a job or you lose a loved one, you don't have that option because things are not going well and you maybe can't control that. So it's very important for self-compassion because it's something you can give to yourself even when things are not going well, or your circumstances may not be what you want. So yeah, so like my favorite phrase is you'll do better next time, because I tend to dwell on things that I don't do well. Like if I don't do well or something doesn't go the way I want, I dwell for a long time on how I could have made it work, how I could have gotten it to do better. And I would never do that with somebody else. I would never tell somebody who, something didn't go right. I'm like, oh, this is what you could have done better, and made that work, because it's incredibly futile, because it focuses on the past, and because it's really rude and it puts people down. But I do that to myself. And when you say to yourself or somebody else, you'll do better next time, for me, that has a lot of power, especially because it focuses on the future. It's saying there is a next time, which if you're like me, you can make every setback a catastrophe where there is no next time, there is no future. You can make it whatever you want. So focusing on the future, something that you can influence, is something within somewhat of your control. It's like, okay, next time I'm going to do this. It's a proactive approach that allows you to learn from the setbacks that you have in life, that everybody has in life. And it also, it really gives you a sense of empowerment of what you can do. And so going back to that other situation, it's like if someone is, if they've had a diagnosis or something like that, it doesn't help to dwell in the past. You talk to people about, or, with you lost your job because of COVID or whatever, it's like, it doesn't help to dwell on what's past. You focus on what you can do now, and telling yourself, you know what, it's going to be okay. Things are going to work out. I don't know how, but we're focusing on what you're going to be able to do. And that both empowers you and sets you in a position where you're driving your life instead of being a passenger, and also allows you to improve yourself and look at yourself and your situation without that anxiety and criticism that normally can be very debilitating for people. So that's my favorite phrase for sure. And I hope that the rest of you are able to practice some self-compassion with yourselves, especially in this kind of time where things are really stressful, that things, I think it's safe to say that almost nobody right now, their life is going exactly like they want, being inside and, socially distancing. It's like, I don't think anyone considers that to be a really great place. And it's not particularly good for my mental health. I'm not going to speak for anybody else to be, kind of cooped up away from people. But again, just some self-compassion, like this kind of thing happens where, you have to distance from people, this kind of thing is happening to everybody. And just kind of practice that one element where you can just have a little compassion for yourself and for others even. So I did it already, but I'm going to put in the chat a link to an article that gives a little bit more detail if you want to read up a little bit more. It's something that I'm relatively new with. I just probably been trying to practice it for about a month now. It's not easy. Personally, I fail a lot at it, but then I just tell myself, it's like, hey, you'll do better next time, with not thinking those negative things and not having that, giving yourself advice, but giving yourself some compassion first. And so if you want to look, the link is in there. And yeah, I hope all of you use this tool to help you through this time. And maybe if you can't use it, maybe help someone else who's maybe very self-critical or tends to think about things in a catastrophic kind of way, where every small issue is blown out of proportion. This kind of thing can really help friends or kids or whoever may have that kind of tendency to really put things in perspective and also be able to approach the future in a healthy kind of way with some empowerment and hope. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Nate. Thank you. I think that's a message a lot of us could stand to hear right now. I know self criticism is one of my favorite tools to keep myself down.
We do it all the time, and we seem to make a sport of it.
That's right. That's right. At every turn in life that could be good, I'm like, well, you know, this might go bad, so I should probably just think it's going to go bad. And so when it does go bad, I can be like, well, yep, see, it went bad.
Right. Self-fulfilling prophecies.
That's right.
Definitely a part of it.
That's good. I appreciate that, Nate. That was good. And check out that link, everybody. It's over in the chat if you wanna take a look and get a little more in depth on that topic. Thank you again, Nate. We appreciate your positive perspective. You're very good at that. That's something you've always had in your back pocket. So thank you again this morning. That being said, are we ready for our breakout rooms, Julie?
Sorry. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. All right, so we are going to, instead of, in lieu of a coffee break, since everybody has their coffee in their laps, we're gonna split up into breakout rooms, give everybody the next 10 minutes to just join smaller groups. We're gonna just randomize everybody here into groups of about 4 or 5, and you'll get a chance to speak individually with a few people here in the community and catch up with a few people and see what's been going on. We'll talk for about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and hear from Aaron Guerra. So please enjoy the next 10 minutes and we'll see you soon.
What up?
Hey, everybody. All right. Well, we're back, and I'm sorry, Kelsey, I cut your mom off. Well, the session, your mom was in the middle of telling me, giving me some vital information about food banks and where we could take some of the food here. And then the session ended. So it was very nice to meet your mom, Lois, and your dad, of course. So I'm glad they were able to join us this morning. The breakout rooms were great. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Welcome back to our main room. Hello, Kevin, you're looking great. As always, with your backgrounds and your green screening. JJ, we ready to go? Where's Coleen? All I see are faces. I don't have my chat. What's happening here? Is everybody here? We ready to go? We're ready for some music. Yeah. Coleen, you want to hit us up? What are we gonna get? Some piano?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to share this song that my musical partner, Rabbi Josh Warshawski, wrote. It's called 6 Feet Apart. Far from my home, but not far from my heart. Not 6 feet under, just 6 feet apart. I know it's safer now to be alone, but it's not the end. This is just the start. Hands on the wheel, hold it steady and true. We've been through troubles, we've been through a few. We're not gonna let it all fall down. When it starts crashing, you know what to do. Sing a song, even if no one can sing along. You know that they're on the other side of the screen. Send out love across the information superhighway. Feel it flow from my soul into yours. Drove out to the concert hall, that old sacred store, where I played some music so many years before. The sign on the window said, "We'll be back soon," with a smiley face meant to reassure. And all the talk show hosts, celebrities, and entertainers, they've all got something to say, some words to inspire, or just something to do. And as for me, my prayer would be to ask you all to answer me. And one day soon we'll all be in one room. But until then, sing a song, even if no one can sing along. You know that they're on the other side of the screen. Send out love across the information superhighway. Feel it flow from my soul into yours. Feel it flow from my soul into yours. Thank you.
I was muted. All right. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you. It's a beautiful song, of course, appropriate for the times. I'm sure it was written for these times because that's way too specific. That was gorgeous. Love the piano. That was amazing. Of course, again, JJ has linked to Colleen's Venmo over in the chat if you'd like to drop a few more dollars Colleen's way with no opportunity to play or fewer opportunities to play live and make those extra dollars. So send them that way. We're going to move on to our featured speaker for today. Our featured speaker, of course, is Aaron Guerra, one of our own, a longtime member of Oasis. And I told him I was going to refer to him this way, a board game aficionado. So I know that makes him a little nervous, but it's the correct title. He's here to talk to us about board games and role-playing games, staying connected while social distancing. Aaron, please take it away and tell us how we can stay connected playing board games over the internet.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Guy, for that introduction. So yeah, we are currently living in some strange times. Let me just share my screen right quick. There we go. Is that sharing? Someone give me a thumbs up, Guy. Cool. All right. So yeah, we are living in some strange times with a new situation, and we find ourselves trying to entertain one another while maintaining social distancing. In December, I would not have considered playing board games online, because in just a matter of 20 minutes, I could put out a social media post and find 3 or 4 other gamers that had the night free, and we would just meet at someone's house and play board games till the sun came up. Now, conversely, I have multiple nights a week that are set aside for playing board games and role-playing games online. My mother tells me that she's been playing games with me since I was about 6. In the 80s, I got my first role-playing books, D&D Redbox for all of you 80s folks, and started to play with some friends of mine. So I've been playing games off and on for at least 30 years. I've played thousands of different board games, dozens of different role-playing games, and even a live-action role-playing game. That's right, in my teens, I was one of those computer geeks that dressed up like a goth kid, hung out in the park at night, and pretended to be a vampire. So at the start of this year, I gave myself a New Year's resolution to share my passion of board games and role-playing games with more people. And I was on track to make some serious progress towards that goal. I've introduced several people to new board games, and a few people, even in this audience, played their first role-playing game with me just a few months ago. But when the stay-at-home order came down for Kansas City and Missouri, I assumed I'd just be giving up on that resolution. But now, with the help of 3 board gaming websites and 2 role-playing websites, and this opportunity to speak to all of you, I'm adapting and overcoming to this situation. So I've got a lot to say and only 20 minutes to say it. So please end everything I say with, and see Google and YouTube for more information about that. And for your convenience, my wife Kelsey will be putting up web links to the various websites I'll be talking about in the chat. And the last thing before I get started, as I'm going to give my presentation, please put any of your questions in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer as many as I can once I'm done. All right, the groundwork is laid, so let's get on with the information dump. Okay, so why should you play board games? Board games are a great way to exercise your brain. Be prepared for some big words. When you play board games, you stimulate the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex of your brain. These are the parts of your body that are responsible. This is a part of your brain that's responsible for complex thought and memory formation. This means that while you're entertaining yourself through a fun activity, you're also strengthening your memory and building onto your logical thinking. Do you want to connect with someone and spend more time with them? Play a cooperative board game where you're competing together to win or lose together. Need a self-confidence boost or a self-confidence fix? Playing a board game will force you to interact with the people on at least some level while you're being taught and playing the game. The decision-making choices in an economic game are not one-to-one analogous with real life, but you can learn some basic principles and techniques for risk-reward analysis, and those can directly apply to real-life decisions. Who here could use just a little bit more patience? Well, while waiting for your turn and chatting with the other people that you're playing with, This is a great way to exercise your patience and teach yourself social skills at the same time. And finally, laughing and cheering together at a shared victory will release endorphins in your brain, which will both make you feel good and lower your blood pressure. So basically, what I'm trying to say is your brain is a muscle. And when you don't use a muscle, it grows weaker. If you give a muscle a good workout on a regular basis, it grows stronger and lasts longer. Board games are an excellent way to have fun and give that brain a workout. So all of this reminds me of, oh, I am way behind on my slides. I apologize, everybody. This was all right, here we go. So all of this reminds me of a board game that I played at a board game convention. This game had just come out and it was called Captain Sonar. The game is a real-time game where 2 teams of 4 try to pilot a submarine to navigate around an island cluster and find and sink the other team's submarine. The rules were taught, how to shoot torpedoes, how to lay landmines, and we handed out jobs to everyone and got started. My team started out using their sonar and robot drones to try to find the enemy team, while the enemy team was doing the same, trying to find us. As the search narrowed down and we started to locate our enemy, we moved towards each other in order to get into torpedo range. Then we took a hit from an enemy mine that was laying right next to us. Then we scored a glancing blow with one of our torpedoes against the enemy, but both of us survived and kept going. Then our navigator, who was responsible for finding the enemy team, told the captain, who was responsible for keeping track of where our sub was located on the map, that they knew exactly where the other team was located. Our torpedo was launched and direct hit. We had won the game and sunk the enemy. Everyone was giving high fives and celebrating. But that's when the navigator looked down at the captain's map and asked the captain, "Captain, we just hit spot A7 with a torpedo, correct?" And the captain says, "Yes, and?" The navigator asks, "Where is our submarine currently located?" The captain looks down at his map and goes, "A7?" The other team erupts into belly laughs. Since we were in the same location as the enemy submarine, we also took full damage and ended up sinking ourselves, and the game ended in a tie. So if you would like to have great stories and experiences like this, I have 3 websites that I'd like to introduce you to. When considering which one to use for you and your group, you should consider 3 things. You consider the cost, the number of games available, the time investment, 4 things, the time investment and the user interface. There's no perfect match for anyone, as each one of these has their advantages and disadvantages. Let me assure you that each and every one of these websites has classic games like chess, backgammon, hearts, or poker. If you're looking for familiar games that you can jump right into. I'm going to start with the most complicated of the 3, but then I'll immediately move into the 2 easier websites. So first up, we have Tabletop Simulator, found on store.steampowered.com. For a one-time cost of $20 for each person who intends to play, it costs $20 per person. This is the highest initial cost of the 3, but once you've paid that initial cost, you're done. Tabletop Simulator has a huge user-created library of thousands of games, including familiar classics, which leads to the time investment, as you'll need to download and install the program and then load up each game and learn how each designer of the digital version of the board game has chosen to display it and how to interact with the pieces. For user interface, that too is going to be variable, as each one of these digital designers will be creating a digital board game in different ways, and you'll need to take some time to understand how each one of them works before you play. Overall, for Tabletop Simulator, if you have the time to invest to get to know the program and to find the digital version of the board game you want to play, and can afford the upfront cost, this can be an excellent way to gain access to a huge library of games online. Second on our tour is Board Game Arena, found at boardgamearena.com. They have a free option as well as a $4 a month paid option, but you only need one person in your group to unlock the full access. That's right, you only need one member in your play group to pay that $4 a month to unlock all 174 games in their library. And these do include familiar classics. The smaller library is balanced by a lower time commitment, as Board Game Arena is the only one of these three that has built-in rules enforcement. No need to keep an eye on the other players and help them make their choices, as they'll only be able to take moves in the game that would be allowed by the rules. The user interface is good to great and pretty much standard across every title that they have in their library. So in summary, for a small monthly fee, you'll have access to a solid library of games that you can jump into quicker because the interactions and pieces will be consistent from game to game on Board Game Arena. And just as a reminder, if you have any other questions, you should always be ending everything I say with Google and YouTube for more information, including how to play these games, any of the games that you find on there that look interesting. So last on my 3 is Tabletopia, found at tabletopia.com. They too have a free game selection, or for $10 a month for one group member, you can unlock the entire library. This one paying member will make 940 games on Tabletopia's library available, including several familiar classics. Now, for this larger selection, you will want to invest a little bit more time, as Tabletopia is just like buying a game in the real world. They give you the pieces and they give you the rules, but it's up to you to follow them when you play. The user interface on Tabletopia is standardized, but has a little bit more depth. So you'll want to take some time to get familiar with the controls and how to interact with the game pieces. I should also warn you that Tabletopia is a little bit of a CPU hog or a computer hog, and it's a little buggy. I'm hoping with their increased membership due to social distancing that they'll be able to streamline their program and patch some code so it's even better than before. So in summary, if you want a larger game library for a little bit more time commitment, and you'll need to enforce the rules yourself, for a few dollars more, tabletopia.com could be right for you. Now, for all 3 of these websites, they do supply an in their own voice chat in each of the respective systems. But I caution you on using them, as those platforms have not previously had enough investment to optimize their voice and video chat features. So using the in-game video chat will draw a lot of resources from your computer and might cause lag or crashes if you don't have a high performance machine. Instead, I recommend using one of these products, either Google, Discord, or Mumble, in order to handle your voice or video chat and keep the workload of your computer to a minimum. Finally, I personally use Board Game Arena and Tabletopia on a regular basis with my playgroups, and we trade off the monthly purchases for access to their service. As an example, with my playgroup, for an entire year, I might only need to buy 4 or 5 months worth of service and then cancel between those 2 websites. So I'm only looking at a cost of about $30 or $40 for the entire year for those large libraries. Compare that to the price of a movie ticket with popcorn, and I think we can all agree that there's some value there. So now, if board games are not quite your cup of tea, and you've ever wanted to try a role-playing game, this next section is for you. Role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons are interactive storytelling games, where each player will take on the role of an imaginary character and go on adventures, or solve mysteries, or save the world together. If you've ever watched a book or read a movie and said to yourself, "I would never do that," or "Why didn't they try this?" Role-playing games are the way to explore just that question. Just like there are movies and books for every kind of setting, there's role-playing games that will allow you to be in the setting and be the character of your choice. Want to be a caveman just trying to grow your tribe and survive? Savage Worlds has got you. Want to be a turn-of-the-century investigator stopping a murder cult from raising a demon? Call of Cthulhu welcomes you into its clutches. Want to be an elven wizard stopping a zombie dragon god from taking over the medieval world? Dungeons and Dragons is at your command, my liege. Fancy being a cyborg hacker trying to stop a global megacorporation from privatizing the entire internet in the year 3037? Upload into Cyberpunk and you're on your way. Whatever setting or character you want to play, or whatever your experience level is, there's a role-playing game out there. This reminds me of a story from my role-playing experience. I once had a friend who wanted to organize a group for some high schoolers. We were currently in our 20s. So he gathered up a group, introduced them all, and we got started playing Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't want to be the leader of the group, so I encouraged one of the other high schoolers to be the leader of the group. The DM led us out into a field and showed us the stairway down into a dungeon. We took that stairwell down and started disarming traps and killing monsters and breaking down doors. After we'd been in the dungeon for a little while, we came upon a stairway going up, and the DM thought he would be cute, and he described a sign that said egress, pointing up the stairwell. I immediately threw out my hands and said, wait, everybody. And all of the high schoolers turned to me to see what it was. And I said, we're not ready to fight an egress. We're not powerful enough. All of the kids were hanging on every word I had to say. I said, okay, let's clear out the rest of the dungeon and try to find an egress slaying sword or a potion or a wand that will help us take it out. We cleared out the entire dungeon, looked in every corner, turned over every table, looked behind every door. And obviously we didn't find an egress slaying sword or an egress slaying wand. So we all gathered at the bottom of that stairwell going up. And I said to the leader of the group, I said, okay, egresses work on sonar like bats. So if we make enough noise, we might stun it and get a surprise round and get the advantage. He goes, okay. And he looks down at his character sheet and he says, I've got a metal shield, metal armor, and a metal sword. I'm going to scrape my shield up the side of the wall as we go up the stairwell, scream as loud as I can, and beat my sword against my armor. And the DM, I could start to see the laugh cracks on his face. He describes him this heavy plate mailed warrior bursting out of the stairwell going up, screaming and yelling and scraping his sword, making all kinds of ruckus, only to burst out into an empty field with a cute little bunny and a butterfly. The warrior was confused for a moment and looked at everybody. And then he looked at me and he goes, you, screw you. And the entire table just burst into laughter as they'd realized what egress really meant. So that's a wonderful story, and a wonderful pitch for why you should play role-playing games. But this talk is about how you play it while social distancing. So I have two different websites that I'd like to point you towards in order to get you started on what could be a lifetime hobby. Those websites are Fantasy Grounds and Roll20. For either of these, I would highly recommend looking up some reviews online on how to use them and what features you're looking for in addition to this talk. Remember, Google and YouTube are your friends. Each has a ton of games open to the first-time player that you can join. So first up for our talk is Fantasy Grounds. FantasyGrounds.com has a free version, a monthly subscription option, or a one-time payment option. The prices for each one of these is variable as there's different levels of service and extras that you can purchase depending on your need. But again, they have a free option. You'll want to visit their websites, FantasyGrounds.com, create a profile, and additionally download and install their software. Once you've done that, you should go back to their website, FantasyGrounds.com, and visit their forums. There's an entire section of players looking for groups. There's an entire section. One moment. There's an entire section for players like you looking for groups to join, or LFG for short. You can create your own post introducing yourself and your experience level and asking if anyone has a seat open at their virtual table that you can join. Alternatively, if you're a little bit of a wallflower, in that same section you'll find groups that have posted summaries of their games and announcing that they have open seats, and you can reply and ask to join. Another option for gaming on role-playing online is Roll20.net. Roll20 has three prices. They have a free option, $50 a year or $100 a year. I'm currently a free user of Roll20.net and don't see any reason to upgrade anytime soon. Roll20 is web-based, so you don't need to download or install anything else to get started. Once you've created an account or profile on their main screen, you'll see a Games tab near the top left. If you hover over that, lost my place, one moment, I apologize. If you hover over that, then you'll see a Join Games option. Click Join Games, and you'll be taken to a list of all the games that are available for you to join. The last time I looked, there were 810 games looking for at least one player. They list the day they meet and the time they meet, as well as their time zone. So you should be able to find a game that will fit your schedule and taste. You'll see a summary of each game on that page, along with the total number of players, the number of open seats, the group meeting schedule, and very important, the rule system. The rule systems they're using. You're going to want to write down the name of that rule system for later research. You can also see who's running the game, or the game master, or GM for short, and privately message them so that they can answer all of your questions and assuage any of your concerns. Just click on their avatar in the games listing to send them a private message. Regardless if you choose fantasygrounds.com or roll20.net, I recommend contacting the game master of the game to let them know that it's your first time playing. This way, the game master will get a chance to meet you, answer all of your questions, and introduce you to the game system. Once you've found a group to join, you should look up the rules on how to play that game system before your first meeting. Since I know you remembered to write down the rule system like I suggested, you can now head over to Google or YouTube and look up that system. Many of the biggest and most popular rule systems like Dungeons and Dragons have a free rule summary or demo rulebook that you can download. If you try searching YouTube, try putting in the name of the rule system and the word beginners, or the rule system in basic or tutorial. You will then have more videos and information than you could ever want to get familiar with how to play. You also might try searching for the name of your rule system and the words character creation. That should help as well. But don't worry, if you get stuck and need some help, both websites have a forum that you should not hesitate to call on for some help. People there can answer questions, point you in the right direction, or help you narrow down your search as you try to find some answers. Also, your new group that you're joining, or the game master, might be able to share a digital version of the rules for you to read over if you don't just outright purchase it yourself. So, in summary of my entire talk, if you're looking to play some online board games, try Tabletop Simulator for a one-time charge and with a bigger investment of time for a huge library, or Board Game Arena for a free or very affordable price with a smaller library with rules enforcement and a smaller time investment, or finally Tabletopia for an affordable price for a good-sized library of games that you'll need to read the rules over and learn how to play. If you're looking for a role-playing game, try fantasygrounds.com, which has a free or multiple subscription models or one-time payment option, and a little bit more time investment as you install their program and find your game, or roll20.net with a free option, 2 paid options, but strictly web-based with no additional installs. However you choose to play games while social distancing, even if it's chess via the United States Postal Service, I'm going to count that as a win. I found so many amazing friends and stories through both board games and role-playing games, and I just want to share that experience with you. Please contact me in any way that you can with questions, and I'd love to help you get started on one of these websites. I might not be able to invite you to my personal table to play because there's only one of me and quite a few of you, but there are literally millions of online games and gamers out there that we can get you involved in playing with. So thank you so much today for your time, and if you have any questions, please come forward with them. So,
Okay, sorry.
There we go.
I lost my Zoom. It's another app, you know. Why is it? I don't get it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Fantastic. All right. I know we have a lot of gamers in this Oasis community. So this is tabletop gamers and on those video games, those damn video games.
I am also a video gamer.
Yes. No.
Surprise, surprise.
Any questions for Aaron? Anybody want to throw a hand up, or I can see most of you. Any questions or anything you want to say? Any experiences you've had with tabletopping or playing video games, playing online over this during the pandemic? I know I've been meeting online for trivia a couple times a week with some friends, and what other? I've been able to play from a couple websites. I know there's that Jackbox.tv system. You can play from your cell phones. Aaron, are you familiar with that site?
I have seen some of my other friends play the Jackbox games, but I have never personally had my hands on the controllers. Those are pretty good. They are designed for like first time, very casual, very social kind of settings. So it tends to be very intuitive. It tends to have a very low bar of entry. So those are good. I'm looking over the chat and I see that Jim had a question of what if you're a first time player? If you are a first-time player for the role-playing games, use those forums to help you get more information. If you meant as a first-time player of board games online, I would refer you to YouTube, because YouTube has got a lot of useful videos on how to use it, most common ways, things like that. So if you had a more detailed version of that question, Jim, step forward or shoot it into the chat. But for role playings, use the forum. For board games, use YouTube videos.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the how intense, how detailed some of this stuff can be is definitely what has kept me from even dipping my toe into the water of some of these games. So I know they can get so detailed and so complicated. So finding a way to just learn some of the simple things would make me a lot more interested. So maybe some of those beginner videos would be a good place to start. Make it less intimidating, maybe. So
whichever one of the websites you're looking for, type in that website's name and beginner or beginnings. It'll definitely help you. So.
Definitely. Okay, great. Well, we've got a couple more responses in the chat. People interested, and other people who know of people who have trivia nights and D&D games online multiple times a week. So if you're interested in doing any of that and you know those folks, shoot them a message and see if you can maybe join one of their groups. It sounds like there's a lot of activity here in the Oasis community for this kind of stuff. So
we could even consider making a post on the private Oasis group where people could reply in that post of who's looking for a game or who wants to host a game and things like that.
That's quite an idea. Aaron, let us get in touch after Oasis today and put together a game night. You interested?
An online game night?
Jocelyn says yes.
The only problem is trying to get everybody on the same voice or the same video chat. So we could do it, or we might end up like. Let me think about it. I'll figure out how we can overcome that, because I want to make it a low bar of entry so that people aren't having a lot of tech issues, that they can just kind of jump right in, and a way that we can get people into groups. Let me think about it, and I'll figure out. There's probably a couple of services we can combine to get that done.
Looks like we're already getting some responses here in the chat. So let's talk after Oasis today, and maybe we'll be able to come up with something by middle of the week, and we'll definitely be able to hopefully announce something by next Sunday. Get some games playing. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Aaron. One more round of applause, clappy claps for Aaron. Thank you very much. We love you. We'll talk to you soon. And with that, we're going to bring Coleen back up to play us out. I'm going to just do our usual little announcement that you all know where you are. You're at Oasis, a 501c3 organization. We are completely volunteer-based and run, which means that we rely on all of your donations to keep us going. We do still need those donations. We do still have bills to pay, believe it or not. So if you don't have regular giving set up, you can go to kcoasis.org/donate. As you know, give there. And I think that's where we're taking most of the money right now. So please check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, with that, Coleen, you can take it away.
Hello, everyone. That was fun. I hope you guys have fun gaming. I almost wanted to change my last song to, but I'm not going to do that. Alternate reality stuff. So Lisa Phillips are you still here, Lisa? I wanted to play my flute for you. I've been practicing a little bit. So I'm going to incorporate a lot of instruments into this next song. This is No Surprises by Radiohead. A heart that's full of like a landfill, a job that slowly kills you, bruises that won't heal. You look so tired, unhappy. Bring down the government. They don't speak for us. I'll take a quiet life, a handshake of carbon monoxide, and no alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. Silence. This is my final fit, my final belly ache, and no alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. Please, please, yeah. Such a pretty house and such a pretty garden, and no alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises.
Okay. Fantastic. All right.
Thank you, Coleen.
Was that the best ending to an Oasis we've had in a minute? Coleen, thank you so much. Oh.
You gotta unmute.
Thank you to Coleen. Thank you to Nathan. Thank you to Aaron. Thank you to all of you for being here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe. And check the Facebook page, check the private page for updates on what's going on with this community throughout the week. We're not just here on Sundays. We're here every day at some point. Somebody's here let's stay connected with each other, check in on one another, and we love you. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Bye.